Hi, Ilyas. Hi, everyone. So the most important standards what we have now is NIST AI RMF 2023 and ISO 42001. So they have laid out their own standards generally as like what we have seen traditionally in ISO or GDPR or other places. However, the issue with AI is it's unpredictable nature. Just as like Sunil was talking about explainability. In AI, it's called XAI, explainability AI. So different organizations expect AI to work in their own capacity in different terms. So there is something called AI risk tolerance, which NIST talks about. But NIST RMF doesn't tell what is a risk tolerance. So risk tolerance, AI risk tolerance, each organization has to define by themselves, understanding their business aspect of it, how AI fit in within their ecosystem, etc. Now there are sections of how to be secure and resilient, how to be accountable and transparent with explainability. Whether do you have what sort of LLM you are using? Is it Sharp or Lime? What sort of explainability feature you have? For example, Sharp uses a game theory where each in a football team, each player contributes for a final goal. So each AI feature is rewarded for a predicted outcome. So how these are being manipulated is clearly explainable in AI terms to a business user as well as to a technician. So to a certain extent, these frameworks can give guidance, but in AI ambiguity space, it's very difficult for any framework to have a proper control. So my recommendation is that you go with a framework of ISO 42001 or RMF 2023 NS, that's fine. But you need to be continuously monitoring your explainability, your poisoning response protocols, your auditability, etc. And how do we do this? My suggestion is beyond frameworks, you keep doing a red teaming. You keep doing a LLM pen test. So the red teaming will ensure the red teamer will tweak the payload over a period of time. Is someone poisoning me? If I poison it myself with crafted payloads, crafted prompts, crafted masked inputs, how it is skewing over a period of time. So that could be understood by the organization. And how it affects its business reality, that's also important. Because no risk management framework can predict how it will fit in within your organization. So these sort of guardrails, even if we have got guardrails implemented, even if you have got proper data provider, how are you training the models? How is the reward function being manipulated if it's in a reinforcement learning? Is the reward function can be tweaked by a silent service account state actor being in the organization for a longer period of time? Over a period of time, like the next recruitment, which was Ajaz was showing, it could have been tweaked over a period of time with minor prompt re-engineering or minor poisoning over a long period of time. For 6 months, it might be working fantastically. Everybody appreciates it, it's all good. But suddenly, it start tweaking towards a gender bias, or it could be start tweaking towards a particular geography bias, could be incorporated. So these things, no framework can teach you, or it is need with our traditional offensive security measures, what we have been deployed over a period of time. The similar one, we need to ensure that red teaming or an LLM pen testing sequentially throughout the journey, throughout the life cycle of AI and optimization or AI roadmap of the organization need to be continuously validated. That's the option what we have. I would like to bring an example, which is a very famous example of state versus Loomis. I think it's a Harvard some U.S. court trial court has verdicted five criminal case against a traffic offense or shooting traffic, something like that. So the guy went to the Supreme Court and he argued saying the trial court used an AI system called Compass, I believe, a Compass or something like that, which predicts how much a criminal could repeat the criminal offense again. So that's not accurate, and they verdicted based on it. So the explainability. So the court asked about the explainability. Now the Compass doesn't reveal explainability because it's their trade secret. So it's a very difficult situation. Though we have experts, though we have risk management frameworks, etc. It's up to an organization when he makes a very vital decision on making a business process outcome based on AI judgment. It's a big job which CISO is going to handle over how this predictability, how its explainability could change, could be tweaked over a period of time with deep poisoning attack or slow poisoning attacks, etc. So yeah, we have to have frameworks, but it should be ever evolving framework.
Thanks a lot, Pradeep. That's a lot of insights. So I want to come back to Paul. I think Paul was listening to us a long time. Paul, I think overall we have covered multiple areas of AI, securing the AI model. So as a leadership position in a large organization, large financial organization, you must have been the practitioner on the ground. I mean, a lot of so we can have a lot of discussion, but you have seen on the ground, the adoption of cloud, the adoption of agile, DevOps, DevSecOps, all of that. Now, coming to AI, how you think practically it is possible for us to make sure that security, teams can make sure we play the right role from the beginning and till the execution and the monitoring aspect of it, because probably in many organization it just goes in a different direction. But then how we can jump in, because when I was a CISO, in initial period I was not even getting into a project. When there is a organization wide project starts, security will be called in the last minute and then ask for approvals only, and then we have to struggle. But then similar thing happened in AI, then we are in a very difficult position that we have to approve, but at the same time we don't have any clarity of what kind of data, who is having access, what will be the exposure, what is the controls, and we will be put a gun on our head and then say, okay, approve, or find another job. So what do you think is your approach, or what is your recommendation in practical sense, how security can get into that whole ecosystem?
Yeah. So Ilyas, see, this is a challenge we always face, right? This challenge was there during the DevOps, when the DevOps was introduced. This challenge was there when cloud first strategies was introduced. And now with AI also, because of the interest with a lot of groups, a lot of shadow AIs are creeping in, and when people want to do and have a piece of this cake, right? And want to prove something with AI. And a lot of interest is there, and they have valid reasons for doing so also. But see, like any other governance, if you see the frameworks which was discussed, like the NIST RMF framework is more of a reference guideline framework, or the ISO 42002. They are talking about to start with the AI governance first, right? So the industry today, at least mature organization already have taken that path, and they have established a AI governance framework, which is interfacing with their existing data governance framework, which is the point Sunil was talking about, data classification challenges. So this AI governance framework is not something built from the scratch. It has to talk to and operate along with the existing frameworks like data governance and your risk management framework, right? Now, when again, the context people miss it here, because everybody talks about one big LLM, a multi-purpose LLM being used for multiple use cases. For example, you want to have a CRM functionality, or you want a cyber functionality or XR functionality. You can't build one general purpose LLM and then try to use it for all your use cases, right? Now this is where the governance and the risk assessment and the risk management comes in, which is already existing, and they need to now reshape, transform, and adopt, or even reskill to handle AI challenges, right? Now when you go into model training, um, see how the model becomes toxic. It based on the data what the model gets, right? So you start from there. Again, same in software area, what we call as input validation controls. You need to have strong data validation controls, right? You can't point a AI model to pick from a folder. That folder might be having different versions of the same document. How will an AI model know which is the document to pick up and then respond? Either use RAG or agentic. Your data source has to be controlled, right? So you need to have a governance, probably a maker checker process, stringent control about what data that goes into this model, right? Once you correct this data part, right, and then you are putting those guardrails, like who can access what. Now, this is where there are a lot of different type of approaches and engineering techniques are there. Instead of putting all, if you put all this data into one large LLM, definitely people are going to be smart with coming with, jailbreaking this, prompts and trying to get more than. And you gave an example of how to find a CEO salary, right? Ask the question differently, find out, the head of this department, what is the salary? Maybe CEO is head of a particular department, then this comes out. Now, but this should be completely moved to a different agent or a different RAG model where a person in cyber or IT should not have access to, right? Now, these type of things should be like, like I said, uh, instead of starting everything new from scratch, try to embed with your existing process of data governance, risk management, and left shift. See, this challenge what we had in STLC, right? We were involved at the end of the rollout, production rollout, called to do a PT, and the management report will go saying it is pending with security. Pending with security because you gave them 5 days just before go live. So we always talked about left shifting this, right? Involve us from the beginning so that we can give them design, design constraints, design control requirements, and then we can be part of this entire AI ops pipeline. So see, today we we are part of the DevOps pipeline. Now it has become SecDevOps or DevSecOps, right? We are already, and then we are at every stages of this pipeline. Now, similarly, now when organization is coming with this AI ops pipeline, security has to go and embed into the right places, right? And then so that you become a partner in the journey rather than coming in the last minute and then trying to say that there are so many weaknesses and you need to control this or delaying their rollouts. So that's the adoption. Anyway, that those journey I think many people have now realized and they have started and going in that direction.
I think excellent. I think thanks a lot, Paul. I think that completely making sense. I think it's a maturity curve, and initially organization starts in a very ad hoc manner, and then it become a bit more systematic. The only challenge is the AI growth or the explosion is so faster even than cloud or DevOps. So organizations has to be understanding the challenges very quickly and come to that probably say even smaller or medium sized organizations also have similar problems, and then they take some time to adopt the systematic process, but that could be disastrous for them unless they come, I mean, security and governance come in from the beginning. And I think as we always say, the data centric security is still an important element, because that is what or at the end everything is comes to how you manage the security of data in its maybe root or the source, where you even filter out what kind of data should be going to the LLM model and what should not go, or what other additional controls required for that kind of data. I think coming to that continuation of that discussion, Abbas, what do you think companies has to do where the speed of AI is very very fast. So what else we can do to make sure that we catch up with that challenges, Abbas?
Yeah, I always start with the people culture and awareness part of it. Yes, it is very easy to adapt AI technology, and if you block something in your environment, employee is going to go home and try it out on their phone, on their iPad, or the home machine. So I used to work for a very hyperscaler company in my previous role, and when they never blocked any kind of a tool in our environment, but what they did is gave us a first an acceptable usage policy and made us understanding and got our agreement and a sign on that acceptable usage policy in terms of what tools we can use it. They opened it for everything, but there was a guideline around that. And the second thing which they have implemented is they give us a prompt engineering training. They're saying that yes, these tools are available at your disposal, but this is what you are supposed to ask, and this is how you are supposed to ask. If I give a very layman example, I mean, it's a very layman example. In our office, we have access to all the environment, and your access card will work in the common areas. You can go to gents' toilet and the ladies' toilet as well as a male. But is our ethical dilemma that we don't go and use the ladies' toilet being a male, right? We never go there. If by mistake once we go, it's fine, ignored or as ignorance, but otherwise if you go continuously, you are being punished. So same thing has been implemented in our cybersecurity area, that okay, if you're asking a CS only once just to check, it's fine, but it is monitored. But if you are continuously trying to ask this kind of a dangerous prompt, it is being monitored and you will be asked questions and give a warning around there, and maybe you lose your job as well. So these kind of awareness and governance was implemented in place, which was helping our CISO to monitor everything what's around that, and that's how they move further in their environment.
Thanks, Abbas. Thank you so much. Sunil, now coming to you, I mean, on LLM models itself, I mean, so many organizations are adopting various LLM models, and you don't know how secure it is, who manipulated it is, the integrity of that, what kind of poisoning might have been done, or prompt manipulation or LLM manipulation. How do you think that organization can make sure that is being taken care? Because now everyone is just rushing into that. And similarly, is that security is the right party who should be looking at that, or is it somebody else? What do you think? I mean, from your point of view.
Let me just add up to what Abbas said. I think that's the right model, because we need to first to ensure that is there a policy already available? Is an acceptable usage policy on AI is in place? Can we have a help desk available where anybody who is developing it, a model or a use case, can they call up and take an advice or a validation of that? Can we incentivize people with additional training? If I say my expertise or my interest is to build something in as a prompt engineering, can I just offer them a course? Because that to have a participative way of doing it and create the guardrails. Now the question, who owns it? Typically in an organization, whatever is gray, whatever is risk, it comes to security. And security believes that more responsibility, we grow. But in reality, that is the risk we are taking it with the ambiguity which we are taking is the risk we take. So here also, because there is nobody else who can actually handle it. So it depends on the organizational structure. The policy says that clearly, who validates, who approves the business case, and who agrees for that a production release or a production movement. That person has the accountability for sure. And this is going to come to security for at some point of time. And once it matures and glorifies and a lot of budget comes into picture, somebody else will come and take it out from us. Okay, so till that time, it is our baby. So guardrails is something which we need to define very clearly, saying what database they can access, what type of privilege they should have it. Because like Elias, you mentioned, data is the core. We need to ensure that in whatever form and shape, who will access it, what will they access it. I think that is where we need to start with.
Excellent. I think that completely making sense. I think that putting that governance structure, guardrails, policies around who can make decision. I think even the RASI is important. And what is the process around even adoption or deployment or testing and going live. I think all of that is extremely important. Although we say these are theory and too much complication make life difficult, but I think at the end you need to have some kind of principles and ethical guideline and security guardrails for AI. I think which is pretty important. So now coming back to Pradeep. We I think touched upon earlier also on the framework and testing and validating the AI setup. So now but that goes to external probably vulnerabilities and external exploitation, but that now internal manipulation, now even for some kind of data poisoning or prompt re-engineering and internal fraud potentially could be happening. For example, if you take for an financial organization, in the past itself, fraud management and security was two different direction at many places where I was thinking always, nowadays almost every fraud there is some digital or data involved, there is some CIA involvement. So now AI coming in and CIA of the data could be manipulated with no visibility for many. What do you think should be the approach by organization on managing the insider threat or internal fraud that could be triggered through an AI driven system or service, or
Okay.
which probably
So
an external also.
yeah, so if you look at an insider threat, the most two important attack vectors, which I would say is one is model poisoning attacks, and second is reward hacking. So these are the two things, like the example which you brought about a financial industry. For example, there's a loan approving system. A loan approving system gives a loan to a person based on certain factors. For example, it could be the salary, it could be the tenure of his employment, etc., etc. So these parameters are being rewarded if for a successful outcome over a period of time, because the model uses a reinforcement learning, for example. Now, it could get intentionally tweaked by an insider, or it can get unintentionally tweaked also by an insider because of training training formalities. So it's very difficult to predict whether a model, reward hacking is intentional or unintentional also. Or like what Abbas was saying, it's all about the data, what you feed into it. Over a period of time, the business culture of the organization could change. The fraud FCU, fraud control unit, might have changed its compliance standards, and it could have come with a new framework or new mechanisms which get absorbed into the training models, which can also tweak the systems for its reward hacking. So that's something which a continuous business process validation also requires, because end of the day, it's not only a technical control, it's the effect is going to happen in a business outcome. So it's the compliance people also have a role saying to ensure that a continuous revalidation of the outcome, at least a sample check using an audit mechanism, that's very important. Now coming to this model poisoning attacks, it's actually generally people believe it's a developer's job to ensure the model is fit for purpose. And there could be, we can definitely expect a lot of state actors coming up with opportunities for enterprise models being draftly tweaked, which we need to come maybe a normal ER or a normal attack surface monitoring is not going to do its job. So we need to come up with some mechanism. I'm sure some AI EDR or something would probably pop up. How if a state actor or an APT actor over a long term, if it's going to tweak its model poisoning attacks. Now, from a containment perspective, what can we do to contain these things? So it could be version controlled reward systems, like your reward systems is being monitored and it's a version controlled. That's something which is probably could be used. Reward tracking system, drift tracking systems, that could be a model drift or a data drift, that also can be deployed. Finally, come to a solution containment. What can you do? So I would recommend always a AI switch called human override. It should be available in all AI systems. If you're especially dealing with a production system, which is very sensitive, there should be a AI switch called human override at any juncture. And what is a juncture? It is business and compliance to decide. That's point one. Point two, a human in the law. For example, AI, SOC, and all, we generally talk about a human in the loop. How far a human in the loop is going to be useful, that is very debatable. But these are the areas where a human override will save you in a very critical juncture. That's what I feel. The other option is, suppose you feel that there is a model is twisted, drifted, or whatever, you restore back the old best version, which was the best operating model, which was earlier. Like in the old Windows days, we used to, I forgot, there is the best known configuration you can restore. So you can restore back to the model of AI which was best performing or with most best successful this thing. So you should have a version controlled model appropriately. So these are and finally it's up to the governance monitoring of the organization, which has to do a continuous revalidation throughout AI lifecycle.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. So I will. We need to wind up and give the floor for questions. But before that, I need a 30-second summary of what is the panel members' kind of analysis and prediction for AI for the coming maybe weeks or months. I think we cannot take years. So maybe we'll start with Abbas. Abbas, what do you think this is going to be? This game is going to be?
Well, I'll give prediction from the security operation point of view that in the next 5 years, 80 to 90% of your level one analyst job will be done using AI and LLMs. And human will be required in the equation. As I always say, it's not human will never be removed from the equation. As Pradeep was saying, there will be a kill switch kind of a thing who will validate and verify whenever required. So the AI bandwagon is coming. We have a choice to either work with AI or work against AI. But I would say work with AI, and that's where you will be more smarter, better, and faster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abbas. Sunil, over to you. Sunil, what do you think the world will be?
In my 30 years of career, the next few years will be the most exciting in my view. While we may automate a lot of things, we will also identify insights which we have never seen earlier. Because very slow moving attacks, specific advisories, intents, a lot of things we could interpret in a much easier way. Okay, we will be literally sitting in like a video game, a high-paced video game where attacks are in real time. We defend, we may become offensive, and the survival of the fittest will be the game to a great extent. Who are the real defenders?
Pradeep, over to you. Pradeep, what do you think?
Yeah, so my feel is that the hype will continue till human race will pay a heavy price for example, maybe big political espionage or a major nuclear wrong firing because of an unwanted AI, whatever. Till that time, we will keep moving. Or because of our gross entanglement with digital, services, we may even continue with AI, even if people will ready to accept it's unusual predicted situations. Probably human race will still imbibe AI into their business.
Ilyas, just to add to that, one more thing. One dangerous sad side is that we will slowly, with the way of adoption of artificial intelligence, we will not find a need to get skilled by ourselves or to learn anything new. We will reach a situation in few years' time where the new generation, we have zero understanding of what is happening. Even now, we don't have people who understand protocols. We don't understand people network security. So all of that will vanish, and we will reach an era where we don't know how to go back. It is like the calculator when it came in. Now, very hardly people can do the mind calculations.
Mental mathematician.
Yeah, so that is the dangerous sad side if we are not. So that time, I think the old people like us will be still valued. Yes.
Inshallah.
If we go and teach basics, they will run away from us. I don't need to learn. I can use ChatGPT for that.
Paul, are you there or you got?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, there. Okay, because I cannot see your picture. Anyway,
I
Paul.
got
So I
disconnected
think.
and I came back.
Sorry. So Paul, I think I kept you for the last to get us the real world practitioner side of it, and from a financial organization perspective also. What do you think? Not security. I'm just security challenges is a part and parcel of this game. So what do you think AI and how that will change your work, or as you said, you're thinking about whether we should move to AI or change from shift the field. So what do you think, Paul? What is going to happen?
So Ilyas, what we are going to do in the next few weeks or months is we are going to juggle with AI for security or security for AI. These two challenges are going to keep coming back to us, right? One, we will be given the responsibility to protect the AI implementation. Other things, adopt AI for our own use cases, right? And I'm only seeing a lot of positive in this, and it's a natural progression of our evolution of even humans. I am looking at more of a human AI interfaces going to build more wearables and devices are going to come in. See, even already I'm wearing a Galaxy ring. So these things are going to come, and it's not that we are going to go back to anyway to the calculator age. We are going to adapt with the new technology. We are going to leverage it, and we are going to evolve into the next probably humanoids, or adopt more human interfacing AI. That's where the industry is going to go towards, and this is not avoidable, and that's the next phase of our evolution as well.
So thank you so much. I think before I summarize and wind up, I guess Imran is waiting from last session onwards to ask question. Imran, over to you, man. Please, sorry for not able to give you the chance last time. Imran, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Ilyas. Thanks for the session, everyone. It was very, very insightful. I don't have a question because I had a previous question which was probably addressed. Okay. And then later on this one, from the governance perspective, something that I probably wanted to add, or maybe I missed it, which probably will help most of the organizations, if not all organizations who are trying to leverage on AI, is establishment of a center of excellence for AI. I think that is very important. If any organization wants to pursue AI, okay, establishment of this, it's like a committee which has champions for managing and monitoring all AI projects and initiatives, a centralized kind of a high-level committee that has an oversight about everything that is happening within the AI. Okay, I think that is something that has to be looked at instead of taking the initiatives from different teams, from different levels, having it monitored, having this high-level committee to manage and monitor all the AI-related projects and initiatives. Yeah, that's
I
it.
think
That's
that makes sense because I've come across some organization recently where even data security and data governance and AI they combined, and there is a team they formulated because instead of data classification, data security being silo, they have formed a committee which include data privacy, data governance, and all. So that makes more sense because these are all connected and you cannot separate it completely, and you need the buy-in from all to make sure that it just that streamlined process is there also. Makes sense. Noted, Imran. Thank you so much for that insight. Going forward, yeah, thanks. Imran, anything else you want to add, or I'll go to the next person?
I think that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Amit, over to you. Amit, you would like to ask something?
Thanks, Ilyas, for conducting wonderful session. I think most of the candid feedback has been actually answered by the esteemed speakers. And Pradeep primarily focusing on importance of testing the offensive security on the AI perspective, and Paul, giving an important gist on the cybersecurity AI framework. How closely cybersecurity and the data management team work. My question is a little more specific, considering the fact, most of my queries are answered by the esteemed speakers. Abbas, with you specifically, just give you a classic scenario, which I primarily believe most of the organizations are building up a AI application, business AI applications, and considering the exponential and the compounded benefits that actually provides to all the organization and the business functions. When we build these applications, I'll give a classic scenario, a SaaS based application which is basically hosted on a cloud, and let's say it is built up by a third party vendor is building up an AI based application, and from the organization perspective, my critical data is basically embedded within that AI based application. So Abbas, what should be the level of AI risk assessment process we should be focusing on, considering the fact I'm little specific, Microsoft primarily focusing on inclusiveness, fairness, transparency. Now, these are big words, but to put them in a practical aspect, then it plays a very, a different ball game, inclusiveness. And these are the new jargons, I would say, for all the cybersecurity professionals. So considering the model, what I have what I have told you, what are the basic things or other the enhancement we should be taking into consideration in our cyber AI risk assessment process? Over to you.
Absolutely. I'll quickly summarize it. So I already shared the link on the chat called AI Shared Responsibility Model. I would highly recommend, you can use this model for any vendor, irrespective of Microsoft or any other vendor, wherever you're using a SaaS-based solution or a platform-based or an infrastructure-based. So understand who is responsible for what. A classic example, if you talk about a SaaS-based AI, everything is a vendor responsibility. You as a customer is responsible for the data governance and access control. Always remains with you. So make sure these three areas controls are very strong in your environment because it's owned by you, and the SaaS provider will not take care of that. SaaS provider will take care of all the infrastructure side and all those things. But if you want an extra assurance, of course, there are lots of tools available and the process available for doing prompt injection testing or a red teaming kind of a thing. There are open source tool available, which I would name it here, called Pyrite. Again, it's a Microsoft tool, but they have made it open source for everyone to leverage it. I'll share the link on the chat on the WhatsApp as well as here as well, which you can try it and use it in your environment. There are free training available on that as well. So you do your own due diligence, but understand the shared responsibility model first.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amit, and thanks, Abbas, for answering in detail. I have Aji Abraham. Aji, please go ahead, Aji.
Hi everyone. Thanks for the insightful sections. My question is actually to Abbas, regarding one point he has mentioned in the discussions. So he was mentioning that the human in the loop should be there. But I was going through some of the research papers. They said, it may not be practical because with the invent of AI agents and all, there could be more than the humans in the world. There could be large number of AI agents. So how practical that is going to yeah, how practical that is going to be, to have human in the loop. And also it is actually going to slow things down, right? So how can what is your view in that part? I have another question. Probably I will ask after this.
Yeah, you can send me PM and I'll answer you. But as you said correctly, right? So non-human identity will surpass the human identity. Already, we are seeing it because of the use of agentic AI and whatnot. So absolutely, the first process will be is how are you identifying those machine identity or non-human identity in your environment? Do you have a same process and governance in place the way you do it for human identity? And then you build up upon that. So I'll leave it at that point. Otherwise, this session will go on very long. But focus on NHI, non-human identity, and agentic AI identity, because every bots and AI does have an identity piece attached to them, which we need to have identification and governance in place as well.
Thank you.
To add to that, please be aware that no UEBA looks at NHI.
Yeah, currently yes, that's a challenge.
No UEBA at NHI. So please be aware.
I
can tell you that later on.
Right. I have another one, quick one. I will probably ask Sunil. Hi, Sunil. So when it comes to enterprise AI application, I think it is probably fall into three flavors. Like we have SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. One is actually the in-house developed applications, and second maybe the commercial, maybe at core banking or a fraud risk management. The vendors is going to embed it generative AI or machine learning within their application. And the third one is the use of ChatGPT or Gemini, the popular one. So I think with each of this approach, the organization which will have a different level of control. So how that, I don't think the organization or the frameworks currently in place have clarity on this. So what is your thoughts on this?
So it has to be separately looked into that, because if you look at, if you're looking ChatGPT as a simple example, and we all talk about hallucination, many people blindly trust it because we are in an era where WhatsApp University is considered to be the legit. Okay, so here when ChatGPT gives a response, there is a possibility that we may take an action based on that response, where it could be completely hallucination. So then we have the risk of artificial intelligence environment itself, because what type of data is being accessed and all of that thing. I may not be much worried about, say, a particular product. Say Palo Alto comes back and say that I have artificial intelligence capability now inside. They have the guardrails within their network to say how they are fetching the data and using it. But surely we need to consider in three different ways. I agree fully on that, Ajay. Also been a long time, Ajay. It's almost 20 years we have not met.
All right,
So
nice to see.
GCSCP is happy that you were able to connect, long time friends.
All right, we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aji. I think I have two more questions because we are. I'm not being tight on the time because whoever wants to learn, enjoy, we may go over the time. But only my worry is KK is there waiting for the next panel without sleep in US. So I need to rush. Maybe some questions we will take it in the next panel, guys. Irfan, go ahead, Irfan.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Ilyas, for having this all, professional gather together. Although it's an off day for all of us, but it is really amazing to see everyone wake up early morning, and we are a part of this amazing discussion. My question is not new, and I'm discussing this in different forums. That is related to organization culture within organization. I just wanted to learn or hear from all these experienced people, what is their experience working in their organization from the culture perspective. Suppose security itself, they feel that it's a roadblocker for them, like the business team, the product team, if they are working on something, they keep security away, or in the end, like Ilyas mentioned when he started this discussion, that okay, they involve security at the end of the journey where they finalize something to get it approved. So how we can, but when we talk about on different security forums, we learn and we understand that security should be onboarded from the day one when we are doing something. But the business team and the product team, they are not involving because they feel that security is a blocker. They will put impact on their timeline. They will delay their project. But on the other side, when they hit with some cybersecurity attack, they always see towards the cybersecurity to come and step in to help and support them. So what I think, we used to talk about shadow IT. Now we are into AI era. So if we talk about shadow AI, so how we are going to develop a culture within an environment where they feel that the security or cyber security is a business enabler for them, it's not a roadblocker.
So let us look at an angle from a security perspective, our perspective also. Now we are talking about the user side. Let us look at from our perspective. So there are various organizations. You work for a bank. Bank has a culture. They know there is a lot of confidential information is available. So bank has a culture saying that we don't allow that. So it is like an airlines industry where nobody wants to say, I wanted to bypass a security check, because that is the culture of that industry which they are in. Okay. Now you go to an IT services company where you cater to 1,000 customers, and 1,000 customers has different way of working. You cannot have a one strict rule saying this is how you work. You need a lot of flexibility. Many a times when we look at this user's perspective, they're talking about convenience versus security. Okay, because I remember an era where people come back and say, I use Evernote in my earlier organization, or that is my practice. I wanted to use it here also. I wanted to send my doc to cloud to convert it to PDF or to compile because I'm more used to that. So it's all convenience perspective of that. We all need to look at saying what terrain are we working on? What is the threat landscape we are trying to address? So it is a top-down. I have worked in an organization where chairman son itself will come back and say, I don't need an exemption. He will ask you what process I should do, make sure that I comply. That's where the culture is being defined at that level. Okay, so it depends on the industry, because many a times many companies opened up Facebook saying that we wanted to be liberal, but then they understood the topmost used application in that organization is Facebook. Okay, so misuse is also reality. So we have, if the policy is defined saying this is how we operate and this is how the acceptable usage policy, our role is to enforce it. We are not there to take any sides. There is a policy defined, which is signed by the management. We enforce it. That's the way I look at that.
So thank you so much, Sunil. I think We have a couple of questions, but I think I will park it for next session. Shahid is waiting to do his keynote. I want to just summarize. So I think what we understood is AI is a reality. There is no way we can go back like how TV came, how computer came, how cloud came. So it's something like that, and it is going to be there. There will be new challenges, and I think the key thing is how well and how fast we understood, we learn, and we adapt, and we. So it's like when I was a CISO, my team came and say, "Well, Ilyas, there's a lot of push for cloud and there are a lot of risk and we cannot agree." I say, you find a way to secure and approve it. Otherwise, you find a job and take me also, with you. There is no other way, that you can go against the flow, because this is us. I think Paul well said, this is part of the evolution of human being, and this is going to be there. It's a matter of how well we are aligned and we are putting the right governance, right process, right controls, and going with it, and making sure it is leveraged for the betterment and the right requirement, and leverage that for the security enhancement. And we be the first person, like AJ said, that the tool is available for both the bad guys and us. If we don't know and we did not use it, then don't blame the bad guys use it, and you are not ready. So I think that is a whole summary of today's panel and probably AJ's session. And I want to thank everyone. Paul, really appreciate Sunil, Abbas, and Pradeep. Excellent point of view. And I'm sure the audience has benefited, extensively with this insights. Looking forward for our next session. We'll plan in another 2 weeks. I really would look forward to you be part of that discussions again, maybe another subject. Mostly I'm looking at OT security. Probably we want to give some insight on IoT and OT in the next couple of weeks. So we'll plan it, and I will let you know, guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shahid, are you ready? Are you available?
Yeah, Elias.
Yeah, Shahid, over to you, Shahid. I'll just give a short introduction of your topic, and then you can take over from there. So, so Shahid is going to cover the rise of AI in SOC, whether we replace the people and make people jobless, or it is going to enhance or empower the agents and or the SOC and the security team. So Shahid is coming with a lot of experience on the ground. He's head of cyber defense in a major financial institution in the region, or probably in a global scale. So I'm looking forward for a interesting session from Shahid, and then probably we can take some of the pending questions, and then we'll go with the final panel after that. Over to you, Shahid.
Thank you, Elias. Thank you for the quick round of introduction. Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening, depending upon where you are. I'm currently in India, but based out of Dubai. So my name is Shahid. I am the head of cyber defense for a global fintech firm, and I'm also an independent cyber defense consultant for IT and OT. I'm happy to share the stage virtually with. Okay, I'm happy to share the stage virtually with cybersecurity legends, old colleagues, and fellow cybersecurity practitioners. So today we'll explore a provocative yet very crucial question. Will SOC AI agents empower or replace human analysts? Let's dive deep into the journey of evolving SOCs, AI's impact, and where we may be headed. So AI has officially crashed our personal and professional lives. It's in our homes, in our offices, in our pockets, and even our pets. Yes, our dog or cat's automatic food dispenser now has AI in it. Remember in the 90s, we used to have an old TV show by the name Small Wonder, with a humanish robot kid. Back then it was a sci-fi, but now it's just Monday or Tuesday. It's reality now. I don't know how many of you have watched Terminator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where Skynet was about to take over the world. Well, with AI, this is now my worst nightmare. The explosion of AI, raises a very important concern. Are we adopting AI because it is needed or because it's trendy? Let's shift focus from novelty to value, specifically the value that AI brings to the cybersecurity operation. So we'll be delving deep into such topics down the slides. So what are SOC AI agents? So one of the byproduct of AI in cybersecurity is SOC AI agents. These SOC AI agents are machine learning powered systems that are designed to mimic human analysts. They triage alerts, they hunt for threats, even they even respond autonomously. Their strength lies in processing massive volumes of data in real time, identifying intelligent patterns that humans might miss. They drive automated response, provide behavioral anomaly detection, and the model continuously learn without human intervention. But is it enough to fully replace humans? Let's ask that question. Let's see what Gartner thinks about this. Gartner takes a balanced stance. While AI agents show promise, especially in automation, speed, and efficiency, they aren't for flawless. Gartner recommends SOC evolution with a human oversight. AI agents automate, repetitive tasks. They provide machine speed defense, but they have limitations in achieving full autonomy. And you always need a human to verify their work. There are benefits with improved efficiency, data overload management, augmentation of SOAR and XDR, and enhanced threat detection, but there are risks as well. And one of the panelists, pointed this out in a very specific manner. The biggest risk that we face right now is erosion of skills. Gartner warns that an over-dependence on automation and AI could lead to an erosion of foundational security knowledge amongst the SOC teams or amongst the cyber defenders. We are so used to relying on AI these days. We use it so extensively that we for example, I mean, we know 2 + 2 is 4, but we still go to AI to check with it. So we have over dependence on AI right now. And the second most biggest risk, again, this was highlighted by one of the panelists, is the lack of governance and controls. The development of AI agents is outpacing the establishment of robust governance and control frameworks. Organizations need to develop guardrails. This was one of the recommendations that one of the panelists in the previous topic also talked about. Guardrails are very, very important because they sort of govern the way we develop and use AI in our day-to-day life. Now, again, AI also introduced monitoring complexities because of which all the work done by AI in the current time needs to be verified by a human. So what are the recommendations? The recommendations are to first, establish prerequisites. Now, these prerequisites are foundational controls or fundamental controls before we start using AI. Without this, AI would probably not give us much value. Implement guardrails again. Third, and very important aspect also is invest in AI training so that the staff can essentially use AI in the best possible manner. And then Gartner focuses on augmentation of AI along with the existing, cyber defense setup. It does not cause for the replacement of it. But let's look at some live examples. Let's understand whether Gartner's recommendations or Gartner's view of this fit in well with our current situation. So AI has already revolutionized multiple cybersecurity domains based on industry research by Gartner and other institutions For SOC at the least, it reduces false positive rate by up to 75%. Incident reporting is automated. Proactive threat hunting is being automated. Alert triage investigation is being automated. The impact is substantial, basically, and it will only increase with time. And obviously, the market size of AI in cybersecurity exploding at exponential rate, and it is expected to grow 10x in the next 10 years. Now, enough talking about AI. Let's take a step back and talk about SOCs. So yeah, with that, I would like to welcome you to the planet of the SOC. In the past, SOCs were full of curious chimps poking at logs all day. They were manual, reactive, and always few steps behind the hackers. In the present times that we live, SOCs got some fancy tools like SIM, SOAR, XDR, and whatnot. But we still have a whole lot of alerts that are, that we still can't keep up with. Basically, these are the same chimps from the past, but we're just well dressed now. And for future SOCs with AI, we would probably have robo-chimps. Now, these robo-chimps doesn't sleep. They don't complain. They hunt threats like cyber terminators do, and make life easy for all of us. So AI, in a way, isn't just helping us. It's probably going to do a lot of our work while we sip coffee in near future. So yes, the evolution is real. Should we be scared? Let's find out next. Now, these are some of the key challenges of current SOCs. The SOCs today are overwhelmed with alert fatigue, gaps in threat visibility and detection capability, inconsistent triage and investigation, sluggish response times, manual correlation, and shortage of skills. It's a mess right now with chaos and complexity. Now, the million-dollar question: can AI fix all of this? How many of the panelists here and the participants think that AI can fix 100% of these issues? Can we have a wild guess? Okay.
100% is never possible. Yeah.
That's a good answer. Any other take? All right, so let me break that for you. The short answer is no. AI can be a powerful assistant, but it is not a magic wand. Solving these problems still need sharp human minds. It requires the right processes and experts guidance. So what is really causing all this chaos into the SOC world? Let's dig deep into this and try to identify the root cause. Okay, so behind the massive challenges lies a deeper issue: missing foundational or fundamental controls. Many SOCs enable out-of-the-box use cases and complain about alert fatigue or false positive rates. They do not conduct threat profiling to identify their threat and attack landscape and complain about threat detection gaps. They do not have SOPs and they complain about inconsistent triage and investigation. They lack a tested IR plan and have issues responding to security incidents. They underutilize SIM, SOAR, XDR, and other tools and struggle with manual correlation, and they do not invest in analyst training, which results in skill shortage or retention issues. Before AI, comes into picture, we must fix these foundational or fundamental issues. Otherwise, AI will amplify this dysfunction and then rather than solving it. So, to answer the question with experience and proof, I would tell you AI will definitely assist in solving all of these problems, but it is up for us, the humans, to take care of foundational and fundamental controls that we currently struggle with. Now, what lessons do we learn from this? The first and foremost lesson is we need to get our fundamentals right. Before we delve into AI, before we start exploring it, we need to get our fundamentals right. One of the 5 main factors in any SOC when it comes to establishing a certain level of maturity is to have asset inventory at the first place. So many organizations struggle with CMDB. They have ad hoc asset inventory. And remember, I mean, SOC AI agents without an asset inventory cannot gain visibility into what exists in your organization. There's a very famous SANS quote saying that you need to know what's inside your organization. If you don't, the attackers would. So asset inventory there is very crucial. Log management. When there are no logs, there will be no visibility, and AI agents cannot act on what they cannot see. So log management practice is very crucial to identify, okay, what log sources you require to monitor, what is the level of logging that is required from each of these log sources, and what is the correlation that sits on top of it in form of a use case framework to have a better detective and capability to defend your organizations against cyber threats. Third, threat profiling and baselining. You need to understand what your threat landscape is based upon the country, industry, and region of operations that you are at. So for example, if you're at financial organization, you need to understand what are your threats or what are the threat actors targeting your country, your industry, and your region of operations. Without knowing your threat landscape, you will potentially be enabling detections that may not detect actual threats. And you also need to understand your attack landscape. So once you bind the threat landscape and your attack landscape, that's where you come with use cases that actually will provide you value. And a lot of organizations these days struggle with it. They just enable out of the box use cases and expect them to detect threats, which is unrealistic. And the next very important point is baselining. Now, it is a very, very, very crucial thing to know that AI is not plug and play. Baselining AI learned on a compromised environment can institutionalize threat behaviors as normal. What does this mean? If you have an already compromised environment and you're going to plug in an NDR which has an AI capability or an EDR, XDR which are with AI capability, it's going to learn the compromised behavior as normal and institutionalize it. And that would result in missed attacks or incidents. Organizations, again, need to develop standard operating procedures. Without standard operating procedures, there would be no consistent response. This is, likewise for humans as well as AI. And analysts needs to be trained. Effective human oversight of AI requires trained analysts capable of understanding and verifying AI actions. And it is very important to understand, like humans, AI can make mistakes too. And we obviously need an oversight of the actions done by AI in current times that we live. This may change in future. In about a year from now or 6 months from now, the AI could be more efficient. But as we stand today, we need an oversight on everything that's done by the AI. Let's go next, and let's compare how AI agents fare with human analysts. AI obviously excels at the scale and speed at which it operates. It helps in automating repetitive tasks, pattern recognition, but humans provide the reasoning, human provides the context, and humans provide the error handling capability. The future with AI and humans isn't binary. It's not a 0 or a 1, or it's not going to be either AI or human. It's going to be collaborative. The best model, which is recommended by not just Gartner, but by Microsoft, Mandiant, and MITRE and other institutions, is a collaborative approach. The best model is a co-pilot approach. Where AI handles the grunt of work while humans steer the mission. And how does this work? We'll look at it next. So the future of SOC lies in collaborative partnership, as we discussed, or what it is termed as co-pilot model. Let's use the best of both the worlds, where AI acts as co-pilot, handling the speed and scale of data, while human analyst provides direction and oversight. The strategic insight also comes in from a human analyst. Where do how effectively do we use AI? This also comes in from a human analyst, and we play a very vital role here. And together, this results in an augmented model where you use a combination of AI and human analyst to provide better value to your organization. Now, this is my personal take. From where I stand, AI holds tremendous potential, but only when paired with strong human expertise. Some critical roles like DFIR, threat hunting, SOC level 3 analyst for validation of work done by AI, and data science will continue to rely on human intelligence with some assistance on AI, with some assistance from AI. In fact, we are likely to see new roles emerge like DevSec AI Ops, like DevSecOps or Dev AI Ops. There could also be DevSec AI Ops, which blends security operations with AI-driven automation. However, roles such as L1 and in near future L2 are likely at risk. These functions are increasingly becoming automated, and AI may soon take over much of their workload. Other roles, such as VAPT, SIM engineering, security engineering, won't disappear, but they will evolve, becoming semi-automated maybe with AI assistance. In short, the message is clear. L1, L2 analysts must upskill and achieve the niche, either in DFIR, threat hunting, become a L3, pivot into DevSec AI Ops maybe. But yeah, they need to upskill or they risk becoming obsolete in the new AI augmented world. What are the implications for executives? The implications are quite clear. Establish prerequisites, fundamental controls before AI adoption. Without this, the AI would hardly provide any value to you. And then implement guardrails post-implementation of AI, as we discussed in the previous session. Allocate budgets for AI-driven defenses and measure the success of the matrix. If the matrix are not telling you a story, that means either you do not have the prerequisites established or you're using AI in a wrong manner. Balance tech and people, invest in AI while retaining skill resources. So it's our job as security practitioners and security leaders to upskill our SOC analysts at level 1, at level 2 roles, so that they reach a niche stage of skills that cannot or will be difficult to replace with AI. We take the burden of that responsibility of upskilling our analysts. If we don't, unfortunately, they will be out of the race. And very important part is define a governance framework and policies for the use of AI. Without that, AI will likely be misused. It might likely be misprogrammed and used for bad use cases. Now, with this, what I would like to conclude is that organizations need to establish their fundamentals first before adopting AI. AI will empower security analysts and not replace them, is what I see. While AI will automate L1 and L2 roles, it will empower them again and not replace them. And lastly, the security analyst who does not use AI will definitely be replaced, not by AI, but by another security analyst who does. So that's my conclusion on it. And closing statement, let's move forward with a purpose and partnership between the man and the machine and make a cyber resilient SOC, which is a combination of human intelligence and artificial intelligence. So yeah, that's it from my side. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Shahid. Really appreciate your insights and very interesting presentation. I think we have some questions. I think Riaz, go ahead, Riaz. You are waiting.
Yeah, thanks, Ilyas. Hi, Shahid.
Hello, Riaz.
It's a specific question, right? So we are quite cognizant of the DLP being leveraged on the existing platforms. But where do you see the DLP as a technology gets integrated? How do you see the use cases across the AI-based LLMs, both, let's say, in-house as well as when it traverses into the cloud? How do you see that integrating into the ecosystem?
So that's a very interesting question. DLP also has had an evolution from from past. I mean, back then we used to rely on data classification tags, dictionaries, and categorization of data to be able to identify any data leakage within the on-premises or cloud environments. Now with AI being built into a lot of solutions like Zscaler, Sky High, Netscope, and others, we're slowly moving towards an UEBA model kind of setup, even with DLPs. And these UEBA kind of use cases are now being increasingly adopted to understand, okay, what was something that was not done before, but it's being done now. Someone was never sharing data outside before. However, he's all of a sudden started sharing data now, right? So what we've observed is over the years, DLP is also being evolved. And at the same time, with evolution of AI, there is more granularity in terms of data classification, categorization, and the dictionaries that we use to identify the kind of data that leads the organization. It is challenging for sure from a data governance standpoint. If you do not define your data governance practices for data at rest, motion, and in use, it will obviously be undetected. However, there's a lot that needs to be done to protect data, irrespective of whatever it's stated that it is at right now. Hope
Thank
that
you so
answers your
much,
question.
Shahid. So we are just running out of time. Really appreciate Shahid. I think we can take additional questions probably after the panel. There are people staying without sleeping in US. So I just want to pull them to the panel. Shahid, really great session. Thank you. Looking forward for more session from you. So
Sure.
we'll discuss in the future. Events, to bring you on to speak. Maybe if anyone has question and they are in the group, they can just post to Shahid, mark Shahid, and Shahid can answer, or some of the other AI experts can respond to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ilyas. Thank you for the opportunity, and it was lovely interacting with everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I think we'll go for the second panel. So we have the panel on most important panel, I would say, is how as cybersecurity experts, the two sides of the coin. One is the threats being increased, or the hackers or the bad guys leveraging AI to sophisticate the attacks, and how we as cybersecurity professionals are defending the attack. So these two sides of the story will be discussed by some of the prominent names in the industry. We are lucky to have them onboarded. KK Mukhe, founder and CEO of one of the very popular cybersecurity firm, and he has a lot of initiatives. Probably you can Google or you can chat GPT for him. And we have Hadi Anwar, CEO again of a large cybersecurity organization in the region. And Hadi and me share a lot of stories together. Almost, I think, Hadi, it is from 2006 onwards, probably before that. So we were together. I think we attended CISA training together. We were in a bench in, I think, Zayed University. Hadi, I think that is the first time we met you. So, good to have you.
Yes, we were both teenagers at that time, Ilyas, back in the day.
So that's a long memory. And obviously KK also I met during the same time, I think 2007 or 8. The first time.
When you were at that financial organization in Abu Dhabi.
ADX, yeah. I was in ADX.
ADX, yes.
So we have again, I think today's event, we have real legends in the panels and in the speaking keynotes. So we have then Kiran. Kiran is again cybersecurity director of fintech organization in Abu Dhabi. It's a global fintech organization. Kiran, welcome to the session. And we have Sunil. Sunil again carry a lot of experience in cyber defense and SOC. Heading SOC and MSSP for a large organization in the region, and carry a lot of experience global. I think he was in Australia before coming to UAE. And that's why I say the panel is full of experts, so I don't have to ask any question. They will provide all the insights. So guys, thank you again. I just want to really convey our thanks from the group for you to take time. And KK, I think special thanks. I'm sorry that we could not make the panel change because already scheduled and a lot of people.
No, please don't worry. Not at all.
So I think coming to the topic, we say I think on from the starting of the whole session with AJ and the panel and Shahid the speech. So we discuss about cybersecurity overall and the AI environment. So now we have two side of the story. As I said, AI being misused for attacks, and AI could be used for defense. So one of the, I think, I believe it is Elon Musk said, at some point of time, it will be an machine-to-machine attacks and defense. People will not be there. A machine attacking another machine, and the other machine is defending, and human being will not be in the picture. Are we getting into that direction, KK? I mean, what is your initial thoughts about how this whole world of cybersecurity is evolving? Because I think AJ has shown how someone can target me as or Hadi, by just giving name. Similarly, they can give a list of names, and within seconds they can customize and sophisticate the attacks and target individuals or even organizations. So I say give an organization name, they can launch attack against that. So what are your thoughts, KK? How's that field evolving now?
Yeah, first of all, yes, such a wonderful event. I have not actually dozed out to sleep, though it's almost quarter to two here. I've been listening very attentively as well. So it's great to have this. I think we should do this regularly. So, we are also visualizing the same as everybody is visualizing. Like somebody was talking about NHIs, non-human identities, which are more servers and containers and APIs today. Imagine thousands and thousands of agents running amok inside an organization, and actions being taken, and you cannot trace back which agent or whether it was an agent or a human that took that action. So there are a number of interesting solutions coming out in the market. Obviously, as problems come, technologists will look to solve those in terms of identifying agents, inventorying agents, getting signatures onto those agents so that we can have some traceability. But more importantly, I think is the whole ball game of can we really trust AI on both sides? So I think it's becoming a very critical battle. And to imagine that humans will be able to play too much of a role in the scale at which things are going to happen is difficult to imagine. It does seem more like an agent to agent battle that will eventually proceed. Even today, if you look, for example, we have been studying our own SOC more deeply as we are going into this problem and seeing how AI can be leveraged. Honestly, having run the SOC for so many years, let me not give too many sordid details, but the focus of the analyst is truly SLA. So, if there is a P2 incident, forget P1, P2 or P3 level incident also, the SOC analyst is focused on either following the runbook, or the SOAR has anyway automated the execution of the runbook, or their job is to, create the ticket and move on to the next incident. Do they have the bandwidth to look at for example, we are doing it for customers. So can they look at the customer's network, the asset list, the Active Directory structure, the network architecture, and figure out and vulnerability correlation? Oh, is this really an attack that is um, something that the IT team or the security team should wake up and take a look at? So that type of contextualization, bringing in that is something we are finding LLMs can do at scale and do it fairly effectively. While, as Shahid very nicely, beautifully explained, keeping the human in the loop. So, it's a battle where we have to leverage this double-edged sword as much as we can.
Thanks, KK. I mean, I think we'll go in deep on those areas, in the session. Coming to Hadi, probably we would love to hear your initial thoughts on the topic, and considering you know the wide experience you carry from different industries and from consultancy side and from vendor side. So overall, I think we would be sharing the same thoughts. Last 1 year was a different ball game, and how it is coming up, and I can see, you have shared a lot of thoughts on that. So what do you want to share with the group? I mean, what are your initial ideas?
Yeah, I think I agree with KK and some of the other speakers who have spoken in the past. In my view, AI is both our biggest threat and also our best defense, especially in cybersecurity right now. It really feels that we are heading into a world where it's AI versus AI, right? And we keep on talking about sci-fi and all of that happening. It's becoming a game. Some other speakers, I think it was Sunil mentioned that we are in a sci-fi environment. Since attackers and defenders are both using automation at speed, and they're trying to adapt and adopt very, very quickly against each other. Let me take events like the RSA 2025, which I attended, and one clear theme that stood out, Ilyas, was that how quickly AI is changing the cybersecurity game, right? Hackers are already using AI to create things like polymorphic malware, which actually constantly changes to avoid detection. So no matter what you put in front of it, it will change accordingly and then try to pass through your controls. Deepfake based phishing scams. We've seen AJ showing us some phenomenal examples where you and I were both culprits of how he has used us, and it was shocking how good things are getting. So while we're using AI to defend ourselves, the bad guys are also have the same tools, if not better, to hit us with the same capability. In the end, in my view, Ilyas, AI might be on the front lines, reacting in real time, but humans cannot be replaced. They are still in the commanding position, and I think Shahid mentioned that the tier one analysts and all of that. While they are at somewhat risk, I agree. I still believe that interpreting complex situations and making sure everything stays within the legal and ethic limits, humans will be the back end watching and strategizing that aspect.
Thanks a lot, Hadi. I think a lot of good points what you raised. So coming to Kiran, see Kiran now, just on top of what KK and Hadi mentioned. See, one of the thing I have seen is that during COVID, for example, maybe before COVID, there was probably 95% people are online, maybe 5% were not online. Now I think it is 101% are online, everyone. And every nook and corner of world, even if remote place, they're all some way connected to the internet. And now for leveraging I don't think even sophistication or advanced skills are required. There are tools available online that can be used by any criminal, who will be even better placed than us as cybersecurity professional, because it's a matter of just using some GUI based tools to target an attack. So considering that you are in fintech business and financial domain, what I'm seeing is like, the WhatsApp scam or the price scam, whatever happening in here and the region and globally, all the frauds. So this is going to be more and more sophisticated and more and more targeted. So what do you think, organization are going to face in that area, considering the frauds? Because, it's not really sophisticated technical attack, but even frauds can be, big challenge in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great question, Ilyas. I think first of all, thank you for organizing a great event. I think I'm get to meet a lot of known industry specialist friends here. Uh, yes, like the AI is rapidly evolving, growing in a way that like it's a battle, right? Like it's the AI offensive versus the AI defensive arm race. When it goes to this one, the AI arm race, right? Like with the all the sophisticated attacks that will be advanced used by the APT attackers so worldwide. But at the same time, that like the defenders needs to be adaptable to make it to defend those kind of the APT related attacks. But at the same time that like no humans won't be a sideline. So as frontlining the digital soldiers to moving to a more strategic commanders, ethical oversee the overall AI system. When it comes to the attacks patterns, right, like the hyper realistic phishing kind of thing, whether it can be a deep fake, like no. So if you talk about uh, the recent that the Singaporean CFO got a call, okay, imitated like the CFO, where it is more of the advanced deepfake voice notes that gives the impossible for human to distinguish from the real thingy of attack, right? But at the same time, right, like the as the defensive goes in a pattern where that the predictive analytics around that, the future threats, what it needs to come in, building the global threat intelligence with the emerging attack patterns, coming up with the proactive defense measures around it, adapting with the automated incident response with the known attacks, with the much more advanced attacks. It goes in building the modular based train and then come up with a full-blown defense mechanism. So it's in a we are living in a world where that it is the both are getting it balanced, but it sometimes it looks like the offensive takes a edge, but it is not true. But at the same time, that defensive takes over and adapt to it, build the robust defense mechanism around it.
Thanks, Kiran. So I think we all now agree that the problem is real, and attacks are getting more and more easier. I think more than sophistication, I would say more easier for people to start. So now coming back to KK again, KK, now see on the defense side, if you say probably a cliche statement, a lot of people say claim they have AI in their tools. Okay, and that was something we were hearing a long time. Before even the whole AI explosion, a lot of vendors or products say we have AI. AI based solution. So, what do you think the reality, KK, in terms of AI coming in the defense actually, and also the effectiveness of that? I mean, do you think now I think there's a very good point Shahid mentioned that, for example, an NDR learning with already a threat in the environment, then it learns with that threat, and then it become kind of an it will defend or not defend. Actually, it will miss the real attack because it's already the normal environment has that attack in place. So how do you think leveraging the solution, how to make sure the right solution with AI capability is working, and that is the right way of doing, and how much human part, process part will also play in the role to make sure that it is effective?
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep this answer short because I don't want to get into the theoretical aspect too much. But I think some level of theory or some level of fundamental terms are important to understand because everybody is claiming AI, right? You cannot exist today in the world if you don't claim AI. So artificial intelligence has been around since the 50s, correct? 60s, 70s. Now what we are looking at is a special class of AI, which is generative AI. And generative AI is using a particular structure to deliver of this capability, which is neural networks. Large language model is a type of a neural network. And to overcome the shortcomings of large language models, which are essentially pattern prediction machines, they have the ability to only predict what is the next word or token that will come. Now that is where the generative word comes from, and that can be used to generate poems and articles and code and images and videos, etc. This does not get you very far. And therefore, all of the companies, whether it's Anthropic or others, they have come up with large reasoning models now. They're saying, let us imitate the way that humans reason. Like if, let us say, the five of us are sitting and discussing a problem, we are going to be a set of experts that sit and talk about this issue. So how can we have a chain of thought? How can we have a room of experts model replicated to arrive at the right answers? And this also is not solving everything. There is a limitation to this also. Recent paper from Apple showed us. Now, when companies say that we have AI, largely if they are an pre 2022 company, if they started previous to 2022, what they usually mean is that they have put a chatbot on top of their data. It usually means that they have used what AJ was referring to, RAG, which is that they've taken, for example, let me give the example of Tenable. When Tenable, for example, says we have AI, in the initial days when they said they have AI, or Qualys said it, or any of these vendors, typically what they came out with in the first release of their AI module was that when I have run a scan on your infrastructure, I have added that scan on top of a large language model using the RAG logic. And now you can query it. You can write a normal NLP normal language programming, human language programming. You can write over there that, boss, what are my top 10 assets at risk? You can query it like a human being. This is what they have done. Now they are moving, and many of them have already moved into what we call the agentic era. Agents are a paradigm shift away from this typical LLM experience that we've had, which is you chat with it, you get a great answer, you are like, wow, amazing. It can write a poem like, Wordsworth, or it can write a sonnet like Shakespeare. Very impressive. But can it take an action independently? That's what agents are designed to do. So what AJ showed you was great, but my recommendation is once you got there, also try and build an agent. Now, what an agent really looks like is an agent is given a set of tools that it can use. It's given a task. It has a large language model as its brain, and it has memory. Using only this and the objective, it is able to figure out what steps it needs to execute based on what tools it has access to. You don't have to write the workflow that, for example, if you're building a red teaming agent, you don't have to say run nmap based on nmap ports that are open, run a vulnerability scanner based on, typically we would have written that logic. Similarly, in any such other activity that you're doing, you would have written the logic. The SOAR has a very well-defined playbook for each type of attack. With agents, you can get rid of those 200 playbooks because you can basically tell the agent that your job is to figure out the best way to respond to an incident when you see it. You have these 2,000, 10,000 incidents, 1 million incidents that you are trained on in the past, because I have been storing that data for you. Now you're trained on it, and now you figure out what you need to do next when you see a new incident. And if it is able to do that, then you have true agentic AI, as we are saying today. So when you are looking at a vendor and they claim AI, it's important to understand whether it's agentic or it is just a RAG that they have slapped on top of an LLM, use your data, and you're able to query it. Can that take autonomous action? If it can take autonomous action, then your evaluation has to be even deeper. In fact, just to add one last point, many times in the AI development world, we debate what is the moat. The moat is not even data. The data that we have over 20 years of running cybersecurity, doing pen testing, that is not the moat. The code is not the moat. AJ showed us, right? Anybody can write that code. You and I, we can start building a CSPM, a CIEM, a SOAR replacement on our own. The prompt is also not the code. Many companies are giving out their entire prompt and saying this is how our prompt works. The evaluation is the real moat. The evaluation which people like you and me, for example, if to any of us in this, if I showed you two reports, this is an analysis done by agency A, this is an analysis done by agency B. Most of you, given your years of experience, will look at the two and say this is better and that is not better. And why, you will be able to explain it later. But first, your instinct, because of your 20 years of experience, will be able to tell you that answer immediately. Was, yeah, output, this output is good, this output is not good. And that is where the real moat is. And that's where I believe the human role will come into play, which is where our experience will really be leveraged. So to answer your question, when vendors are coming to you, we have AI, everybody will have AI. They have to have AI. There's no option left. But you need to go deeper and see if it's agentic, what are those agents capable of doing? And whether their autonomous actions are accurate or not is something that evaluation teams will have to go very deep into.
Thanks. I think KK, I think it was a great insight again in deep. Probably Hadi, I think you could answer on the same question. Plus, I just want to ask you now. The automation part. Always when I was a CISO, also we were not very comfortable to let the machine do everything on the response side. Yeah, monitoring side we are fine, but when there is some configuration changes happening, including SOAR, although even the SOAR use cases were slowly, getting in place, and now it is being more common. But then as a CISO security guys always think that the tools or solutions are not accurate enough without false positives. There could be a lot of false positives. So Hadi, I mean, what do you think that is it possible to automate many of the response action, changing a firewall policy, for example, or an IAM configuration change when there is an attack happened, immediately on the fly, changing with AI kind of reasoning or AI tools? You think that is something completely we can depend on without human intervention, or you think still we are not there where we need to have an oversight?
Right. Thank you for that question, Elias. Look, fully autonomous cyber defense is exciting, but in my opinion, we're not there yet. It's not a bulletproof environment where cybersecurity isn't just a tech problem. And we all know that it's also about managing risk, staying compliant with the regulations around us, and making sure security is also aligned with the business strategy and the way the business is moving. Sometimes we security folks want to imply controls after controls, not thinking about what the business requirements are. So AI is already, as we know, is making a big impact. It can respond to threats faster. It can isolate compromised systems. It can flag suspicious activity. It can even kick off containment measures in real time, and that's really powerful. But we need to be realistic about the limitations as well. AI is great at crunching data, but it doesn't have that human touch, the human intuition. It doesn't understand context the way a security analyst or engineers or techies like us would understand, right? Humans know which systems are business critical and can possibly handle those gray areas. We really need a judgment call. And AI is a black and white kind of a environment, in my view, still. It still has a lot to learn. And a lot of attacks today involve social engineering, tricking people, not just machines. And that's kind of threat still needs human touch to spot and then stop. And another challenge is novelty, right? AI models are usually trained on a lot of data, past data, historic data. So when something completely new shows up, a tactic it hasn't seen before, it misses out, or it might miss out how to deal with it. So in my view, yes, AI will absolutely reshape how cybersecurity teams operate in the future. and today as well. I mean, it's obviously there's a transformation happening. Instead of analysts spending all their time chasing alerts and digging through logs, they'll shift into more strategic roles. Going back to again what Shahid mentioned, I mean, think of them as decision supervisors, guiding, refining, stepping in when AI actually needs help. Human oversight and the ethical judgment and the business context which we as humans bring in is still going to be super critical to handle the AI capability. We are not there when we say we are replacing humans. However, we are evolving and we are evolving different roles. And in my view, that's where the future is headed towards. So yes, AI is good, but humans still, and I keep on saying the same thing, we are still, not replaceable yet.
Yeah, I think excellent point, Hadi. I think really making complete sense. As we said, whatever happened, then still that human piece is still there is. Although probably a lot of researchers and pundits predicts that it will not be. It is going to completely change. Even without depending on any people. But let us see how is it going. Now, Sunil, now I just want to ask you, um, uh, uh, now AI security control itself, can it be a problem? I mean, maybe it can by mistake trigger an attack, like, the denial of service incidents many time, in IT create probably some of the controls, it itself become a DOS, it can trigger a DOS. Similarly, an AI control, can it uh, anticipate, or hallucination can happen and then think that there is an attack, and then it may shut down certain services or take some action that can deny the access to the services. Is that something possible? And considering your background on DDoS protection and DOS, there could be a possibility of a DOS or DDoS, because of a misconfigured or malfunctioning, AI solution. What are your thoughts on that?
Thanks, Ilyas. First of all, great session. I think, as KK mentioned, it's almost 2 o'clock where he is, and he's still very much awake and engaged. So thank you very much, and thanks for inviting and sharing my thoughts. Lots of known people, good friends, old colleagues here. So great. One thing before I start, I 100% agree with Hadi that AI will never replace human, and I'm very strong point on this one. Just before I answer your question, as most of us will know, there are two type of AI. So one is called weak or narrow AI, and second is called strong and absolute AI, or what we call artificial general intelligence. So strong AI is basically human in a machine, right? So that's, until date we don't even have a single application of a strong AI. Although, as KK mentioned, AI is there from 60s. Till date we are not able to build. So that's why I just point to Hadi's point that it will never happen. But narrow AI, even chat GPT and all those things, is narrow AI, where it could be deep learning, could be supervised, unsupervised, and stuff like that. Now, coming to your point, absolutely, I think we have seen controls going against the organization some time back. I think everybody remembers that the famous incident which happened. And luckily for us in UAE, actually there was a back-to-back. We had a couple of incidents, happen back-to-back. So definitely it can happen. Now, as other experts also mentioned about AI, there are things in AI which needs to be, be absolute. So, for example, we talk about hallucination, we talk about poisoning, we talk about bias. There is also a chance of somebody manipulating the model itself, and then it's basically just doing opposite of what we actually have built that AI to do. So absolutely this can happen, and it will happen. So as we will start relying more on AI, it will happen. But human will never be replaced. I will give you a couple of examples. For example, crucial thinking. Again, we don't have absolute AI, we don't have strong AI. So crucial thinking will never, we cannot program that. As KK was mentioning about reasoning, right? Reasoning is something which, you might have not thought about this in last 10 years, but that thought might come to you now as a human, right? And AI is always about training on the old data and how, it has happened before and it can probably happen in future. So those things are crucial controls which needs to be in place to avoid a situation like a DDoS by a control, right? So basically, your explainability, I think, is a very big problem. So one of the questions you ask KK about, vendors are saying we have AI and it's working, and I can tell you, being in the MSSP business, every month I got approached by a AI assistant SOC vendor, every month, pretty much, right? And then they show me this thing. Okay, you can tell AI this and it will tell you is true positive or false positive. My first question always, how did the AI decide is a true positive or false positive? Most of the vendors today are black box, right? They don't explain to you how does it work. So same problem, right? If you're 100% relying on a solution which doesn't even tell you how they decided, because a human I can ask, right? My analyst do a wrong analysis and it called a true positive, false positive. I can go with him and say, buddy, what did you do? He will tell me, okay, I did first this, that, and I immediately find out where the problem is. But when you go to this black box solution of AI, it's not possible. So if we want to rely on AI and want to use it as a defender side of it, then we need to make sure that it's actually explaining it. It's transparent, right? Data residency is a problem or it's a challenge for everybody. So many of these AI vendors, if you see, they are somewhere in the cloud. Which cloud, nobody knows. What goes in the cloud, what stays in the cloud, what gets deleted, nobody knows. So if we want to build AI controls, we need to make sure explainability is there, adversarial bias is not there, hallucination is not there. So these things, controls, and KK made a very good point. Evaluation needs to happen. Otherwise, these controls definitely 100% will go against us, if not today, tomorrow.
Thanks again, Sunil. I think excellent points. Really appreciate. So, Kiran, now coming back to the threat side of it, what else? I think probably the attendees, or members, and the viewers, they want to know what else they can anticipate, uh, which can leverage AI on the threat and attack side. Maybe it could be internal, it could be external. So what all, phishing, we saw AJ shown, how somebody can fish, that could be an individual, but then organization wide and individual base, now what all they can anticipate? What are your thoughts on that?
I think like it's a good question actually. Like when we look into a overall landscape of the cyber attack, right? Like now 87% of global organization currently facing the cyber attack through AI only, right? So if you look for the anticipation, so there are many cyber attacks that includes, right? So phishings, that it could be the groundbreaking attacks on the, like, the insider attacks, right? So for all these activities, right, to establish the baseline in the organization, so to ingest a vast amount of data, to identify the suspicious behavior around it. Once they establish the baseline, then the anomalies, whatever the deviation it comes out of it. So it could be as simple as that, like no financial finance employee accessing some engineering team source code, right? So this could be one. So based on the insider threat, then could be somebody accessing like no the usually the person working in 9 to 5, all of a sudden he goes and download a huge amount of data at 3 a.m. So when it comes to that one, so there are some confidence anomaly detections around it, that it could be a predefined playbook which are of a high confidence in nature. So it will help in the like taking an action against to it, like no temporarily restricting the access, the isolating the machine, or like no triggering the step up authentication itself, right? So the overall, right, like when we look into the journey of multi-stage attack detection pattern, right? So it's not just the one standalone attack itself, but it is a series of events when it happens. So based on that, like human in the loop can take a decision around it. That's what that Abbas was mentioning it in the previous session as well, right? So where that like multiple like attacks when takes place. Okay, yeah, I think like even Sunil was also mentioning previously, it's more of a 1 and 0 kind of thing when it goes to the AI machine. But at the same time, like so when analyst comes into it, like identify what is considered it as a false positive, right? The decision supposed to be given it to the analyst. So whether it happens at the detective kind of thing or could be a preventive measures around it. So then based on that, you can lay a control to bring a effective security posture in the organization.
The next question I will ask both Hadi and KK, whoever can take it first and then other can answer. So one side is what else we can anticipate, what other kind of threats we can anticipate through AI. And similarly, on the other side, what other areas we can leverage AI in cybersecurity defense. Now we were all mostly focusing on the SOC side of it or cyber defense center. But what other areas we can leverage? Similarly, Hadi, maybe I don't know whether you can shed some light or not on critical national infrastructure and all. I mean, what level of AI use cases or some example use cases what you can share with us that is, kind of can give some insights.
Okay, I can go in first.
KK, you can take the question because I asked for both of you. You can.
Oh, I was sorry. I thought it was for Kiran.
No. For you and Hadi, you both probably we can hear from both of you.
I'll let Hadi go first. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no worries. So I think from a critical national infrastructure perspective, Ilyas, I would like to focus on mostly zero-day vulnerabilities because they are the ones which really impact at the national level. And AI is starting to play a pretty exciting role in the world of zero-day vulnerabilities. In some cases, it can actually reverse engineer these vulnerabilities faster than humans. And thanks to its ability to automate things like code analysis and pattern recognition and even parts of exploit development. But it's really important to call out that when we talk about AI responsibly here, the focus is on detection and analysis, not turning it into a tool for weaponization at the national level. And AI and machine learning can be trained to spot common coding mistakes, insecure configurations, and patterns that are often tied to vulnerabilities. And that's where the real power lies, the speed and scale. So how does it help, right? Firstly, we have to look at the automated code analysis, the large language models, which can comb through massive amounts of code and pick up patterns that have been linked to past bugs or vulnerabilities. Then there's binary reverse engineering as well. AI can decompile binaries, they can flag suspicious functions, and even suggest how an attacker might try to exploit them, which also happens at the national level. And finally, maybe AI can correlate threat intelligence as well, matching what it sees in code with known CVs or even discussions on the dark web, helping predict possible attacks at the national level. That said, the quality of AI in this space really depends on the actual underlying data, right? One of the panelists mentioned, I think Sunil mentioned explainable AI, right? It all depends on the data behind the AI models. If I give it crap data, the answer will be crap as well. So we need to ensure that that data which is gets trained on is the right data. At the end of the day, while AI can speed up things faster, it can look at insights faster. We still need human experts to interpret the results, validate them, make sure any disclosure is done responsibly, And at the national level, it's the same case as well. And this is where the governance comes in, right? Security teams need strong frameworks at the national level to guide how AI-driven insights are used, especially when we are dealing with sensitive, high-stake findings, critical national infrastructure entities, national level protection, all of that, in my view, again, AI is doing good things, but we have to keep an eye on how it's performing and responding to things at the national level as well.
KK, I mean, I will customize a little bit on that question so that, probably you can expand. So now, if like, I think you saw AJ was putting my name and Nadi's name to target, to tailor an attack on us, for example. So if the hackers or even nation states target a certain organization and say, I want to target this particular organization, you create an attack, which might be even finding what is the vulnerability there or which person working there and what is his weakness, leverage all of that, and then top in 1 minute, 1 second, there could be an attack and that can bring down the organization. So now, what do you think the defensive side can do to be not victim of such an attack? Because, for example, okay, now uh, AJ was confidently putting me at risk, but probably thinking that I may have resiliency, that I was expecting this, considering my phone number and my name and my details are everywhere. So I'm anticipating an attack anytime, and so I'm being more watchful. So similarly, what an organization could be doing to at least limit the impact of such an attack?
I don't have an AI answer for this. I mean, an AI powered answer for this. First of all, I want to tell you that, we are all aware that the battle we fight is what we call asymmetric warfare, right? We have to defend from every single threat. The bad guys have to be successfully able to exploit even one of the vulnerabilities, and they're in, right? So it's very asymmetric, and AI makes it worse. So for example, what we looked at, right, in terms of social engineering and crafting very targeted attacks, they have to get one employee in the critical infrastructure organization to fall for that attack. And we have to protect all 5,000 employees. So the AI makes, first of all, that asymmetric battle very, very much worse. It makes it even more asymmetric, because now the bad guys can do it at scale. See, you and I are worried about accuracy of AI. We are like, oh my God, I fed it 1,000 incidents. Did it give me a false positive for even one? Even if it gave me one, I reject the system. The bad guys are like, I'm going to feed it 5,000 target names. And if it crafts me emails and gets me into 5 of those accounts, I'm fine. So, so their barrier, their bar for success is
ROI
much
is
lower.
good. ROI is good.
ROI is awesome. In fact, I just posted on LinkedIn yesterday the 3 reports from Google, Anthropic, and OpenAI on how their systems are being misused. In fact, those misuses are when DeepSeek had not come out. With DeepSeek, they don't even need to. Those misuses will not be public because you can host a DeepSeek version yourself or even a Llama version yourself. So these are still very rookie mistakes that we are observing on these public platforms. But to answer your question, Ilyas, I think it goes back to the basics, right? When we talk about resiliency, we have to be focused on assume breach. We have to be doing incident response drills. We have to have a cyber resilience program which involves everybody in the senior management level, not just IT, not just security. And I think Abbas had mentioned this at the very start, that this whole battle of AI adoption, see, business is very excited about AI. Marketing is the vibe we get from our customers here is they have FOMO. They're like, we are not adopting AI fast enough, not on the cyber side, on the business side, on the marketing side, etc. So somewhere our role is to curtail that enthusiasm. There's this sitcom, right? Curb Your Enthusiasm. So we have to be that force that says, yes, okay, do it, but please let me tell you what all MCP has come out. No security around MCP. A2A frameworks are out. There is no security protocol in A2A framework. So security has a long way to catch up with the pace at which AI is developing. So I think as professionals, our goal and role has to be to kind of little bit curb the enthusiasm around this AI adoption. We can't stop it, but we have to keep explaining the risks that are there and focus on, the basics of resilience, do incident response drills, keep the management in the loop, have strong incident response programs, do cyber resilience end to end, etc. Which has nothing to do with AI. That's the basics of building a strong cyber program.
See, one thing I don't want to, as per the policy, I don't want to blame anybody. But one issue what I saw in the past is that the business consultancy or the business consultants or even digital transformation consultants not giving enough importance for security. So those who are recommending the organizations to go for AI or latest digital transformation, I see many times security become like a afterwards adding piece, and that's actually a normal practice which some way I think these big consultants and all should be probably changing.
No, Ilyas, that will never happen. Ilyas, we have been in this business for 30 years, all of us. It is never going to happen. Security is the number one priority only for the people in this call because our livelihood depends on it. For business and IT, security is always going to be lower in the priority list. It's an unfortunate reality of life.
So I think just before winding up this session, I just want to hear from whoever want to take it in order. As what the attendees can take forward to make sure that they are ready to handle the threat side and defense side of AI. I mean, how to leverage AI and how to defend AI-based attack. Maybe 3 points which each of you can just share for the audience. That would be great.
So I can start on this, Elias. In my view, AI is really acting as a force multiplier. It's doing that for both the sides. It's completely changed the game in cybersecurity, giving defenders and attackers new superpowers, right? On the defense side, AI is helping us win on speed. It's improving detection accuracy, reducing response times, easing some of the burnout analysts face from constant alerts. On the attacker's side, their big advantage is scale. Generative AI makes it easy to create phishing attacks, as we saw earlier, fake identities, even changing malware. So AI-powered social engineering lets them tailor attacks with incredible precision and do it at a much bigger, faster scale. So at the end of the day, the edge doesn't go to whoever just has AI. It goes to the one who integrates it better and uses it smarter. The organizations that embed AI into their security operations, but still keep that critical layer of human oversight, are the ones, in my view, who will adapt faster and stay ahead. It is not just about using AI, it's also about using it strategically. So I'll take a pause now and let others also contribute.
Sure, maybe I can go next. See, AI usage, definitely everybody has to do it. FOMO, I agree with KK. There is a FOMO there for people. I had a visit other day in my SOC, and we were explaining about SOC service, and the guy said, "Tell me just only about what you do in AI." So I told him, AI is just one part. You have to understand the whole basics of how the operations run and what are the basic things to do. Simple as onboarding a critical log source. Now AI, what can AI do in that? So the FOMO is there, but definitely AI has helped a lot, especially on the operation side, reducing effort on the analyst. It has helped a lot. AJ gave a good example of that nursing interview where out of 2,000 probably shortlisted to 10 people. Again, great benefit also we see in operations. But the main point, which also KK mentioned, is basics, right? It doesn't matter, 10, 15 years back, we were talking about cloud. Ilyas, you talk about cloud, and I was in Australia at that time when cloud came, and everybody was saying cloud will not happen. And I remember attended a workshop with the biggest bank in Australia, Commonwealth, and this CISO, he was the only CISO who was saying that he will go sort of cloud first, right? And exactly what you mentioned also, Ilyas, before in your one of the examples, you have to adopt, but you have to see how to secure. So when you come to AI, right, you have to do basics: governance, data residency, red teaming, scenario-based testing, checking the bias is not. So these are basics, right? It doesn't matter. You have to. We did the same thing in cloud when cloud happened. We have to do the same thing in AI. So these basics of security, testing or say governance and validation, this remains the basic. So whosoever is looking into AI in whatever shape or form, as I also mentioned, explainability is a huge thing. No, don't go for the AI with the black box, because end of the day you are responsible for running the business, not the AI vendor, not your consultant probably who is writing the AI code for you. So make sure explainability is there and just follow the basics. What we do in any security governance tasks which we do for anything, we did the similar thing from last 15 years for cloud. Similar thing has to happen for AI. So that's my 2 sentences.
Thank you so much, Sunil, Kiran, and KK. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I will go for it. Like, no, how I see is that one. So if we take about the AI plus HI all together, artificial intelligence and human intelligence, make it as a more hybrid one, AHI. So it's more on the partnership kind of thing to work it out. Okay, cannot rule out the humans into the whole equation. So, but like as the any organization, right, we will have at our side one contender to the security team, always say that one, why do we need to implement the security? Even if there are some security initiatives comes in, always raise the question for the sake of asking it from the business perspective. Then even sometimes that he may be or she may be telling that, yes, fine, we need to do it. But if we say that there is a red flag, we need to do it, okay, they are not entitled to to fix those issues, right? But I think like it's not an afterthought kind of thing when it comes to the AI. So the adoption plays a key role. So to do it, I would think of more of a breach attack simulation kind of thing, wherein that like do it more of a offensive way, do the analysis, identify all the microframe based TTPs around it, to analyze it. What is your security posture? How is your preventive controls work? How is your detective controls or work in the organization? Then improve it with this one, right? So I would think that in overall that it's the boon, like how effectively we use and adapt the AI models in the organization plays a key vital role.
Thank you, Kiran. KK, I think
Yeah.
few of the speakers has another session at 12:30, so we'll wind up quickly. KK,
Yes. Absolutely.
please.
So, my view is, the speakers have added so many great points. So I just want to take a slightly different view. That one is that we all share in the anxiety of this new technology. See, when mobile came, cloud came, none of this threatened to take away our jobs. This one truly does. Be it you're a CISO, SOC manager, CEO, founder, whatever, right? My company could shut down tomorrow. These are possibilities. We have to be prepared for it. So my advice or my thought process currently, which I am adopting and which I believe is helpful to me at least to keep my sanity. First of all, I think it's very important we all should invest in ourselves. We should be constant learning machines. Non-stop every day block 1 hour, 2 hours to learn. It seems like such an overwhelming technology, but you just start somewhere, right? Listen to a YouTube video, whatever it is. So invest in yourself, take a course, learn as much as you can about this technology. Second, I think too much time if we spend trying to predict the future, it's not worthwhile because the future has become too unpredictable. The way this technology is evolving and general technology is evolving, it's becoming almost difficult, impossible to predict what will happen in the next. Who predicted MCP? Who predicted agent-to-agent framework? Who predicted agentic AI when ChatGPT launched 2 years back? Nobody had any idea about agentic. So in the final third piece, I would say is that, try it out for yourself. Build an agent, and there are so many nice, I'm using a platform called N8N. Please play with it. It's mind blowing when you first build your own agent and you see it in action. You're like, wow, I don't have to write the logic and it achieves the objective. I think that's when your eyes really open to the power of this technology. It's not accurate, it hallucinates, it can go off the tracks, agreed, but it is still a very big paradigm shift. So until you actually play with it, you build some things yourself, you will not feel that impact. So these would be my three things, three takeaways.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I think to summarize, again, similar to what the previous panel, it's a reality that threats are change. The whole spectrum is changed. Similarly, the defense side also is getting changed. Having the knowledge of where to look, what to look, and at least I always say the one thing you need to have is common sense to make sure that there is this kind of attack, there are this kind of tools available. So the bad guy use it, you will be on a defensive on back foot, and we need to probably find out that. And I think this kind of sessions give that insights to the practitioners, to the professionals, that such a thing is there, such an option is there. And I feel like I studied, as I said, with Hadi. I learned CISA maybe 20 years back. Now I feel like I'm outdated if I don't learn about AI, and I'm not cert I although I'm too old to get a certification now, but I'm thinking I should get a certification in AI security and all, because otherwise we are not anymore up to date. And that is a beauty and that is a challenge of the field. So I feel like as security professionals, we need to probably step up our game, and we need to take that proactiveness in terms of, as KK mentioned, it could be very unpredictable. So we may need to be having the resiliency to even face an unpredictable scenario or unpredictable type of attack. So the impact is less. The impact will be, because that is the only thing we can aim, because incident could happen, issue could happen, breach could happen, but what is the damage you are going to have it, based on that is our kind of question, and our objective to reduce. So I think by that we will wind up. Speakers who have to leave for other meeting can go, but I will leave the floor open for any questions to those who are available from this panel, and probably we have some of our other friends, experts also, who can answer some of the questions from the remaining audience. I'm just keeping it very open and flexible. We can stay another 5 minutes to hear any questions if anyone has.
I apologize, Elias. I'll have to drop out. I have a 1:30 call. Thank you, everybody. It was been a great sharing I can't say the physical stage, but the online stage with such esteemed panelists, such knowledgeable friends, brothers from the community, and everybody who's joined us as well today on a weekend. I think it shows the commitment to learn. Going back to what Elias mentioned, we are too old to learn. We're never too old to learn, Elias. We can still learn till the last breath we take, especially in this ever-changing world. So I'd like to thank everybody and have a fantastic weekend. Take care.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Shahadi.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, KK. Thank you, Kiran, Sunil.
Thanks, KK. Thank you.
So I think
everyone.
we don't have
Sunil.
much question. I think all we extended half an hour more, and thanks to all who attended, and thanks to all the speakers. Really appreciate. It was a sudden decision to have this, but I hope everyone enjoyed and everyone shared their thoughts. We'll have more sessions soon, and probably KK will have some demo session probably with you, what you wanted to show
Definitely.
in the coming weeks. Thank
Thank
you
you
all.
so much,
Thanks,
Elias.
Elias. Thanks, Elias,
Bye,
for
Sunil.
organizing as well. Yeah,
Thank you.
great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.